Good afternoon, everybody. So I just wanted to give a garden update. Like I said, I've been busy around here. Garden is not nearly as big as I'd like it to be. I had a excavator in here pulling out some big stumps. And just on the other side of that fence, I actually had the garden extended about another 8 feet. And that stump was kind of like right on the edge. And when he pulled it out, he kind of destroyed. I mean, it wasn't like he did something wrong, but he kind of destroyed the end of the garden. But whenever you're ripping out a big stump like that with a big machine, you know, that kind of thing can happen. So I didn't have the material, you know, the loom and stuff that I had bought. I didn't have enough to repair it at that point, and it had all gotten mixed down in with the rocks, and so I started 8 feet shorter. But we got, I don't know if I can name all these. I don't know what's going on with the watermelon. You know, we have had cooler weather, I guess. We haven't had much warmer days, and maybe watermelon requires warmer weather. I'm not really sure. But as you can see, it was planted the same time that was. And that's the other one right there. That's watermelon. And they were planted the same time. And these, I believe, are squash. Buttercup squash, maybe. And then I forget what's back there. And I honestly forget what's there too. In those 2 rows, but right there is tomato. Those are 2 tomato plants, and then there's actually a couple of short rows of tomatoes. There's tomatoes there, right there. The one in the back is potatoes, and there's two full rows. You can actually see where I've been mounding it. See right there? Been mounding it up. And I believe those are tomatoes right there as well. And then you got some leaf lettuce, like a leafy lettuce. And of course, that's corn there. That's an easy one. And so on and so forth. There's a lot of beans. Those first row. Those are peas. And there's different kinds of beans and all kinds of different beans and peas, and there's beets, Detroit beets, different kind of beets, all kinds of stuff. There's a bunch of different vegetables in there. I just can't remember it all off the top of my head. And a lot of my tags fell off. See, I put little tags on the little posts so I'd know what was there. And unfortunately, a lot of them fell off of there. The sky's blue today. When I went for my bike ride this morning, they were spraying a little bit around the sun, but you know, other than that, they really haven't been today. It's been a really beautiful day. I literally just finished working out here a little while ago for the day. I'm not nearly complete with the coop. The time to mill the material is consuming. It's time consuming. And when you mix that with the 100 other things I have to do in a day, you know, I've only been able to give maybe about 5 days, maybe 6 days to building and milling, and those aren't even full days. Hey fellas, what you all doing? You good boys? Look how big this guy is. He's huge. He is definitely my biggest rooster. Oh, these 4 right here are the 4 biggest in this area, but they kind of peck on each other. They peck the feathers, and they're kind of roughing each other up a little bit. I mean, they're not hurt. I wouldn't say they're severely hurting each other, but They're pecking each other's feathers out. I'm having that issue a lot with a lot of my animals this year, pecking each other's feathers out. I don't know why. Well, part of it is boredom. Part of it is they don't have enough space, I believe, which will definitely be resolved with this. I mean, you're talking, and this will all be integrated together. You're talking going from a building right there, which is attached to my barn, which will just be storage after today, or after this coop is built, which is 4 feet by 16 feet, to go into a building like this. Okay, now as you can see, it's 4 feet at the lowest point off the ground. The highest point, it's about 5.5 feet off the ground. And there'll be more structural beams in place. I need to get it up. I need to get the floor on. I need to get the wire around this, so that way these young ones that are now getting very big very quickly can go in there and have more area to run. See how big they're getting? They're getting huge. And there's 18 of them. This area is way too small, so within the next 2 days I'm gonna work like an animal, and I'm gonna get all my floor joists in place, which this material is all material I'm milling myself. And anyhow, I'm gonna get all these floor joists in place. And I went, because it was going to take way too long, and I'm just running out of time. And so I bit the bullet. The price had come down a little bit, so I thought, you know what, let's just go and buy this plywood, and that'll save me a week. That right there will save me nearly a week of milling boards. Because it's a chainsaw mill. It's a good chainsaw. It's a very powerful one. And it mills fast for a chainsaw mill, but it's a chainsaw mill. It's not like a big old sawmill where you're pumping out boards like they're going out of style. Takes time. Matter of fact, I'll show you a part of the system here. It's an Alaskan chainsaw mill. So this is the rail. So what you do is we strip the bark off, so that way I don't ruin my blades. So that way there's no dirt, and that takes a lot of time in and of itself. Then we set it up here on the sawhorses. That goes on top, and that gets leveled. It gets leveled in both directions. It gets leveled in that direction, and it gets leveled long ways. Not really leveled long ways. You want it to be relatively flat. You don't want it to be wavy like this. Otherwise your board's going to be wavy like that. So, so level and flat. And then once you mill that first piece, then you can ride along the top. So you only need that once. Unless you're going to mill 3 sides. I'm not doing that because I'm trying to get every inch of usable material. So I'll mill just the top. And then I take my circular saw after, and I cut it down to the width that I need. So, for instance, a 2x10 or a 2x12. The 10 inches or the 12 inches is what I'm ripping with my circular saw. And by the way, it's a true 2 inches. As a matter of fact, I'm making mine 2¼ inches. So it's not like a 2x4 that you buy at the store that's like 1 5/8 inches. Matter of fact, it might even be less than that these days. They make it so cheap. When they tell you 2x4 at the store, you're actually getting 1½ or 1 5/8 by 3 and 3½, 3¼ I haven't measured it recently, but it used to be the last time I measured it was 1 5/8 by 3½ It probably, I heard from someone recently that it was actually smaller than that now. So I want to say he told me, it was a guy at the lumber store, I want to say he told me it was 3 1/4 by, or rather, one, I think he said it's 1.5 inches by 3 1/4, rather than 1 5/8 inches by 3 1/2. So they actually, just like they're doing with the packages of food, you know, less and less and less. So there'll be another beam going right down the center here, underneath, of course, because this right here, that's the frame, or rather, that's the beams. Okay, so there'll be another beam at that height going in between there. So I mean, literally, when I'm done with this, I've always been known to do overkill. You'll be able to drive, my tractor will be able to sit up there, and matter of fact, I'll probably be able to put 3 of my tractors up there. That's how strong it'll be. It'll be complete overkill. So 20 by 20, and then I think I'm going to go this direction here with so they'll have all underneath. I think I mentioned that already. They'll have all underneath, and then they'll have another 20 or 30 feet. So you figure 50 by 20 feet is 50. I believe I figured it out to be 1,000 square feet of and I can always expand on it later at another time, but 1,000 feet of chicken run. And then the chicken coop building itself is going to be 400 square feet. Now, again, part of that building will be shed. You know, it will be exclusive to the chickens. These right here are pole beans, and there's more tomatoes over here too. I think these are cucumbers, maybe, and that one over there, I think. And then, or maybe that's cucumbers. I don't know. A mosquito on my back. And that's a tomato plant, another tomato plant right there. And then the pole beans. See, these other ones aren't pole beans, they're just regular garden beans. And these ones are pole beans. And I actually didn't realize that until after they were laying on their side. And so I had to put up a fence for them to grow up onto. So I just wanted to show you, I've been busy. You know, I actually attempted to make a video here a couple weeks ago, and was distracted and couldn't finish it that day, so I figured I'd come out here and make one. Hey buddy, you good boy, huh? You're a big boy, huh? Say hi, YouTube. Hi everybody. He likes to fight with me, don't you, bud? Don't you like to fight with me? They're all good boys, though. When I say fight, he likes to, you know how they kind of follow each other with their eyes and their head, and then they jump up and kick at each other and bite at each other. Well, he does the same thing with me with my hand. And then he'll do the double kick towards my hand. He's a character. Actually, he never used to bite before, but now he's even biting a little bit. Brat. Hey, little one. How you doing, baby? My poor gray hens, the other 4. The roosters. The roosters, you can see the purple stuff on their back there. So the roosters had tore some of their feathers off. And of course, now that there's feathers missing, see, here's one right here. they peck at each other. So I spray that blue emu or something like that. It disinfects it and cleanses it. And it's supposed to keep them from pecking at each other. Well, it kind of works. It temporarily stops them, but the stuff doesn't stay on there forever, and it certainly doesn't, the odor doesn't last forever. So they still, after a day or so, start back up at each other. And unfortunately, at this point, their feathers are not going to grow back until molting. Till molting season. It's just not going to happen. So, some of them are quite bald back there, which is kind of sad. I hate to see that, but I've done everything I can to alleviate it and fix the problem. And there's just nothing I can do other than to just continue to make sure they stay clean. And they have clean area, clean coop, and clean chicken run. And, you know, they've grown a few feathers back, but nothing really worth mentioning. Well, that's that. Just a quick update. Probably a longer video than I intended, but just wanted to check in. You folks have a great morning, night, whatever it is, wherever you are. God bless y'all. Hope y'all doing well. Definitely miss, watching all your videos. Those of you that are coming over that have channels, I apologize. I'm just so busy. I'm hardly on YouTube at all. But when I am, I do stop over and visit and leave a comment. So, alright, we all have a good one, and I'll talk to you soon, and hopefully you'll leave a comment. We can chat.